Okay, I don't know why this is happening, but doesn't matter here or there by much. So the 13 is an attack damage, and so is 14.
The 13 and the 14 are the chances to hit.
I was asking why
Basically,
are they
the,
green?
Because they're an auto crit. Because it's a surprise round, my attack rolls are automatic crits.
basically
If they hit, it's a critical hit.
they have the crit damage, but they don't have the crit attack. So it's not an automatic hit, but it will do automatic crit damage.
Okay, so it'll show green because you have surprise round, but that's
It'll show
the
green
attack.
because I've set my crit range to be between a 2 and a 20 for the damage. The crit is still just a 20 is a guaranteed hit. But for terms of damage, everything that hits is a critical damage.
Okay, I think it's annoying. The first one and the last two hit. I don't like your macros.
Rather than having to re-roll all the damage die, it's a lot easier.
Yeah, but I always go with the coloration of it. And because of that, it just confuses me. Hooray, it doesn't matter.
So that's 113 damage total.
Aiming
So
straight
basically, a dog must make a symbol for you if he gets a 30 hit.
what is the crit range? What's the number that's an actual crit?
20. Same as always.
But in the case of surprise rounds, because he has a very specific skill, very specific.
Everything that hits is counted as critical damage. It still has to bypass the roll to hit. So I still need to beat their AC on the rolls.
You know what? Never mind. I don't think you understand what I'm saying. It's fine. It's fine. I'll deal with it. I'll just hover over the numbers and see if you got a 20 and then plus modifier. And
There's no 31 there, so no natural 20s.
That's what I was asking. Okay, terminology and confusing me aside. After entering into the area, by the way, I had to disconnect because something was up, so I'm restarting the recording. But you've already... it's just me fumbling the first 5 minutes. You entered in the system, you fought through, people were straggling behind you, but you did not make any interactions. You entered into the castle, and now you're deciding on taking down the enemy. Lady Sky takes on the first initial strike. With the first blow, you manage to strike with a good amount of damage. With the second and third, unfortunately, you miss. They turn around, and then you blanket 2 more rounds into them. For a good amount of damage. You see that most of their body...
113.
You see that most of their body is now broken, but they are still standing. Yes. I heard you the first time. Anything else, Lady Rersky?
That, I believe, is pretty much everything I can do. Unless... Nope, that's it.
Alright. Chrome.
If I can see them, I'm going to cast Eldritch Blast.
Alright. Unfortunately, for you and the rest of the team, the people that you are currently combating against are not surprised.
Yeah, that's fine. I just need to check something. It's 3 beams, okay. So, beam is going to the... Can I see the raven on her shoulder?
You can.
So I'm gonna try and hit the raven on her shoulder, and if I manage to kill it, then the other beams are going to her.
Alright. Wait, sorry. The woman is wearing a raven mask. The man has the bird. There are no
Which one has the bird?
the
Sorry?
man. It's a small
Okay.
snow owl.
Okay, then I'm just hitting this one 3 times then. As
All right.
try to.
All 3 attacks hit.
And she takes that amount of damage.
All right.
Oh.
Let's see.
Radiant damage, that's from the I had the radiant damage bonus she gave still on.
Yes. Okay. Good. Aiming straight for the creature, you do see that they turn around, begin to break out a rapier, and then straight towards them, you fired 3 Eldritch blasts, striking true. You see that the bird does look at you, puzzled and confused. Still doing its dance, but now just going up and down. The man looks at you and is now ready for a fight. Anything else?
I don't think there's anything else I can do. He just kind of curses to himself and moves a couple feet back to get back behind the wall.
All right.
So about here.
Sounds good.
Be the end of my turn.
All right. Lady Versky.
Just a question first. Why has Rialta merged with the wall?
Super stealth.
Just 3 more attacks. And I think it's, yeah. What were those rolls when I needed them?
All 3 attacks hit.
$87 total.
Nice. Aiming straight for them, you do see that they are barely hanging on. Deciding to end it, or perhaps not so charmingly, you decide to kill him, get the job done, and you blast away whatever form they had left. They turn almost into a misty vapor as it just disappears.
Huzzah. I will then 30 feet that way.
All right. Rauta, unless you decided to take the 9.
No, I'll keep. Are they still alive?
The 3 that you're currently looking at, all 3 are alive.
Okay. I'll go ahead and use slow on them.
Nice. You order time around these people, 40 feet cube within range, each target wisdom. Okay. One of them fails, and the other 2, I think, pass with their modifiers. Maybe. What's the number to beat?
Oh, what is the number to be? I'm sorry.
It's fine. It would be your spell modifier. I mean, sorry. Yeah.
Spell save modifier.
Thank you.
17.
Then yeah, without their modifiers, 2 of them would pass and the other one would fail. So you see the man with multiple eyes on their chest fail. And slowed.
Okay, and then where? And then I guess I'm gonna move back behind my teammates, and yep.
Alright. Caitlin.
I'm gonna move up here. I'm gonna hex this person right here.
Just so you know, Caitlin, I will be moving up next time if you're interested in moving closer. I will be.
No. So that's a paladin spell slot. I'm gonna be Electric Blasting now.
All right.
Wherever that is on my character sheet. There it is. Excellent. I love when I get one. I guess I could just not got one.
Maybe. The last two, the first one and the second one. Ugh. Where's today? The first one and the last one hit. The one in the middle.
I'm
afraid
gonna
not.
I'm gonna use the lucky dice to roll another d20.
All right.
Does 20.
20 does. And
And
are you going to
then
do
what-
the additional d6 damage for each of them?
It's already in the macro.
Okay,
The
then.
d6 attacks and d6 of celestial strength.
That's weird. Sorry. Aiming straight for the person, you manage to strike them 3 times. Blow after blow, they do get hit. With your hacks, you do additional damage, but the damage you've dealt with that certain ability seems to be almost cut in half. While you still do damage, it's not as much as you would have liked.
That's fine. I'm looking back.
Alright.
Coward.
Give me my armor back in our front line.
Bartholomew. Sorry. Wrong game. Bye, Roth.
5, 10, 15, 20. Oh, hell. 25. And then, yeah, I think I'll do Spiritual Weapon at the 4th level.
Alright.
That's my bonus action. But let me just draw that in for you.
Sounds
And
good.
that will make an attack. It's another d8. And then I will attempt to throw my javelin at him. And I don't think I put in the juiced up. Yeah, my javelin is strength.
No, I'm talking about for my hacks.
So they take bonus damage?
It said bonus damage, but all types of damage? I'm assuming.
No, it just says him. It doesn't
Then
say anybody who hits him.
no, just them. Would make sense.
Yeah. And, sorry, then I'm gonna... I forget the bonuses that were applied to our weapons, but I'm gonna attempt to use my fancy javelin rope thing. Which probably doesn't hit.
The bonuses to your the bonuses to your weapons would be you actually hurting the undead, and the additional radiant damage.
And I assume a 14 does not hit.
14 does not hit. Aiming straight for the person,
My turn is done!
your spiritual weapons seem to do much more than you yourself as you strike, and unfortunately, motorcycles. Unfortunately, you miss. You also now should have control of that blade.
Right on, cool.
Let's see. His speed is reduced to half thanks to Rauta. Unfortunate.
Ha ha ha.
So he can get here and no further. Let's see. I believe it's I can take a movement or action.
You can take an action or a bonus action, or you can cast a spell.
Penalty of half speed, -2 to AC and dexterity.
It still has an action, but it can only do one thing. So, like, if normally you could attack twice, only one attack.
Okay, that was what I was checking.
Or you can still attack more than one time.
No, you can.
You can. The attack action is a type of action. It just says multi-attack's a type of action.
Regardless of the creature's abilities or magic items, it cannot make more
Oh,
than one
right,
melee
right,
or ranged
right.
attack during its turn.
But that's neither here or there in this circumstance. But that does mean I can attack. Who was in the way of this ray? Oh, that'd be I keep wanting to call you Bartholomew, but that's the Tuesday game I run.
Rarefied it.
Technically, he hasn't seen you. He is capable of seeing you, but that wall's in the way. So it'd just be Byroth.
Yep. That's what I'm here for.
Byroth, you see one of his eyes begin to glow and change, and I want you to go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw. As a burning ray just burns into the ground and aims straight towards you.
Well, I have resistance to fire damage.
That's good. Now I'm coughing. It's only 4d6, but it's still 4d6.
Are you casting a spell?
Spell-like effect.
Can I counterspell it, or is it innate?
It depends. Are you able to counterspell eye attacks from like creatures like beholders and stuff?
It's off my armor. You gave it to me.
No. I mean, like, are beholder eyes the ray effects?
Count
Oh, in
Counter-
general, you mean?
counter specifically counters like spells, whereas something like dispel magic would get rid of magical effects.
Alright, I take it then.
Okay.
Take the 6 damage. Because we're Celestials.
Yes. It burns into you, but thankfully enough, your armor is strong enough to take it. However, now it's the single individual turn that is not impaired. Let's see. They were already told of your whereabouts and locations, so they know exactly where you are and who you are. They just need to decide on who to go against. Yeah, that would make sense. At least for her.
Desperately looking for another target than me.
No, it just seems to believe that its enemy team member has you. However, seeing that the enemy team member was able to be reduced in some form or manner, she goes against the one individual that was able to do so. In a quick movement of speed that almost did not resemble actual what's the term for it? Steps. She almost resembled like she was gliding on nothingness at all. She aimed straight towards Rauta.
Don't suppose that passed within 5 feet of me.
10 feet actually.
Okay. Trying to get that attack of opportunity.
I understand. As she's running straight towards you, Rauta, you see that her cloak behind her is almost gallantly with feathers and plumage. She grabs one end as if it's a wing and goes straight towards you. Does a 21 hit?
Did I actually add that bonus to my armor already? Or how does
Well,
that
it's
work?
okay. So it's +3 dragon scale, right? But I think dragon scale in and of itself might have a +1. Is that correct?
That's
Uh,
what I'm reading, so I don't know if it's like added on automatically or do I have to, like, when did I don't know.
That would depend on how you've inputted the item. Did you like drag an item from the
No.
compendium?
I did it all manually, and it was kind of.
Then it would have already been implemented in it.
Do you have it as being equipped?
No.
And you probably want to do that because it won't count.
How
If
do I
you
do that?
go to the cogwheel next to your items. Like the little if you go to a lock at the end of your item list. No, hang on.
Oops.
There is a cogwheel somewhere.
Dragon skill.
There's a cogwheel on spell attacks and spellcasting.
There is something you can do, and I'm just trying to remember. Oh, okay. There's
I
like
think
a.
it does say it. It says, yeah, it has a check mark next to it, so that means it's already on there, right?
Have you seen if does it? So in the items, there's like a little dot that hovers above the item on the. Yeah,
Like
and
the
if
little
it has a quick
exclamation.
tick, then you have it equipped, and it automatically adds it on.
Oh, okay. And then so this just says +3 dragon skill mel, and then where does the +1 to my AC come in then?
This is I forget how to link things, but this is what Roll20 says about dragon scale now.
So it would be a +4 then.
No. The
is it
+3
just a
was
+3?
included as well.
Okay.
Because if it was a +4, I would have told you +4 instead of +3 plus
Okay.
+1 to the dragon scale mail.
Okay.
To be
Okay,
fair, when
so-
I was asking about getting it forged, I didn't know that like there were rules for dragon scale mail. I thought it was just gonna be plus resistance.
Easy. So then, yes, it does hit.
Then that is 2d6
And-
plus 7. Unless you're
what
doing
did I just
something.
paste there? I think I clicked something on accident. But I was just trying to paste the Hellish Rebuke thing. I don't know how I pasted two things on there. I don't know what I did. But, yeah.
Okay. Well, first the initial strike hits. So you take 15 points of damage as the feathers behind her just hit you as if they're serrated edges. Slashing damage. However, your Hellish Rebuke then glows and hits her for, please roll. And let me know what I have
What
to
do I
do.
roll for?
I think Hellish. Give me a second, I can see the Hellish Rebuke.
Roll 3d10, I believe.
The creature has to make a dexterity and beat 17.
Yeah, it's a 2d10. I think on a failed it's full damage, and on a successful it's half damage.
I believe so.
This saving throw in particular is based off her charisma if it's her racial ability.
And what am I rolling? What am I rolling here?
2d10.
D10. Thank you.
Let's see, they did fail, so you do the damage, but I think it's more than a
It's
d10.
another-
It's 3d10.
It's another
so
d10. It's only 2d10. Oh, what level is she casting it at?
It can cast at second level if she's using her racial ability.
Yeah, it's my racial ability.
Then
it's 3d10.
second level spell.
3d10.
Mhm.
So I'll just roll
Mhm.
2d10. Oops.
Just roll a 2d10.
Okay.
And what's your charisma, Ezralta?
My charisma?
Yeah.
2.
Okay, then it's DC 15.
They still did not make it with 14. So after hitting you, you just launch gouts of flame straight from your body, hitting them for a pretty good amount of damage. Let's see, now the hexed individual. Let's see here. They seem to be communicating with their bird, and the bird simply goes away. So now the bird has exited the area. You all can tell that it went north, south, east. So that bird's no longer there. But the man does come back down. He can make it to Byroth, but no one really else. With his longsword, sorry I screwed up last time, calling it a rapier. So used to my enemies having finesse weapons. Brings down his blade. Does a 24 hit?
His AC is 30.
Still have to ask. Let's see here. Strikes once more. And then... let's see here. No, that's all you can do. Unfortunately, he let his bird go, so... they can't help him. Chrome, back to the start.
Now I'm debating on what to do. Which direction did the bird go?
East.
So... wait then.
Yes. Although I believe in your current predicament, it'd be... you wouldn't really know where it went other than east.
Oh, fuck.
You can go east where you're currently at, but you don't know where that direction goes.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna... just gonna move up to here just so I can get a better view on this person. And just keep casting Eldritch Smite, but I'm just gonna I'm just gonna ask Byroth, like, clarification, which direction did the bird go?
Can I see which direction the bird went?
Yes.
I tell her which direction the bird went. East.
The last two hit. Blow for blow, you manage to strike them and hit him straight in the abdomen. He does now look winded, unfortunately. For me.
Just need to check something real quick. No, it's fine. That'll be the end of my turn.
Lady Versky.
What is you being up this direction?
You look up in that direction and you find what appears to be another passageway.
Oh, okay, nothing useful for the time being.
No. You do
What's
see
the
that
mark above his head for?
Hex.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna shoot him in the back 3 times. No, that's not the right one. That is. Of course, more crit fails. Today is not my fucking day. Fucking wrong.
The one in the middle does hit. Good amount of damage too.
And I will move. Yeah. 30 feet.
All right, you then see the next room with what appears to be a washing basin, something that might be for bathroom use, and a magazine. You assume. Ralta.
Okay. I'm gonna. Because there's still two. How many? Two guys left, or just one guy?
One looks near close to death, and the second one in front of you seems to be just fine, honestly.
Okay. I'm gonna conjure an elemental.
All right. Same one, or are you gonna mix it up?
Same. What did I conjure last time? I forgot. Whatever's easier, the same one.
I think it was an ice elemental.
Yeah, that's fine.
Come on, tokens, load. There we go.
And I want to try to move to where I'm kind of like behind it, I guess. But I know it's gonna provoke whatever. I want to try to get out of range.
All right. It's possible. How far do you move? You can go pretty far if you risk it anyways.
You could jump over to where Chrome is. Get behind Fire.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was kind of, like, should I try to move up that way? I feel like it's, I guess right here for now, because it's kind of like between my elemental and Barross.
All right. Let's see here. I suppose she'll try to swing. And now Roll20 is dying on me. That's always fun for the DM.
Oh, no.
I'm going to switch to physical dice, so this will probably be my last digital roll. 12 misses.
Okay. And does my elemental get to attack this turn, or does it have to wait?
They can attack this turn, or at least at the end of your turn, which basically just means that they get their own turn after your turn.
Okay. Okay.
Do you have a sheet for a level 3 ice elemental? Or do you need me to just run it for you?
She needs that.
Yeah.
Also, it does say to roll for the initiative, but if you just want to put it after her, you're the DM.
It's easier.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Monster. While it's searching, do you mind if Caitlin goes? Because my internet is not great right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Alright, Caitlin.
Just roll an attack for it later or something,
Yeah.
I'm gonna blast the guy from black.
Alright. A 30 and a 25, do you hit? As he's currently preoccupied by Byroth, you take this opportunity to shoot him in the back. It strikes true, and thankfully enough, with your added damage, hit and do a good amount of damage. However, the necrotic damage almost seems to be negated for current circumstances. Why won't you let me
They're
search
not
for
bonus
elementals?
action. What the heck's this one?
Here, I'll search.
I'm trying to do the Roll20 compendium, but it says an error
I
has
know,
occurred.
don't even.
Anything else, Caitlin?
I'm gonna pass.
Alright. You can see that the man is close to death's door. If not, just right at their stoop. Byroth.
Byroth cast. And he makes his spirit weapon come on down and attack this guy who's weak.
Spirits. How many spirits do you summon? I think you have to roll for that, right?
Nah, it's just they take 3d8 radiant damage if they start their turn within 15 feet of me. And the other thing, if they roll for it, and if they pass, they take.
Oh, okay. I think I'm thinking of a different spell.
And you know what? Because it looked like, yeah. Because I want to screw this guy. I think that'll make it so he can't technically. Do I have to go there? I have to go there so he can't reach me.
If you go there, I think won't it hurt Caitlin?
No, I can choose any number of creatures that I can see to be immune to the effects, so I choose all my allies.
Oh, okay. So won't it hurt Caitlin?
No.
Okay.
But the spiritual weapon does 9 damage.
Okay.
And they take damage if they start the turn or if they enter the field.
Okay. Anything else?
No, that's me.
Okay. With your magical attack, it does manage to string and hit straight for him for 8 points of damage. And then you activate an aura around you. At the start of this strange, slow man's turn, he does get closer.
And now he has to roll Wisdom 18.
Fails.
He takes 15 radiant damage.
Alright. Radiant damage hurts him quite a bit, so go ahead and add an added d6. It's not bad. And you deal roughly 20 points of damage. While he is not dead, he is hurt. Taking that to heart and seeing his friend almost dead himself, he will probably use his third. Yeah, he'll use his third. Byroth and Caitlin, go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw. As a strange black ray goes straight through his friend, killing him in the process. And then aims straight for Byroth and Caitlin. Yeah, of course, Caitlin would pass.
And this isn't fire. This one is black.
It's necrotic damage.
Ah.
You'll also have to roll a con save for your spiritual weapons.
Go
It's
ahead.
not for my spiritual weapon, it's for the aura, but yeah. And I have advantage on them because of Warcaster.
Double tap.
Okay, here's what happens. A ray burns in through the ground. It hits it, but all it leaves is ash. It kills his friend in the process and goes straight for Byroth. Byroth, as it hits you for 75 points of damage.
Holy shit.
And then burrows through your right shoulder and goes straight for Caitlin. Caitlin, not wanting to be hit by this thing, quickly just dodges to the right, barely getting. Oh, you still get hit for half damage. Oh,
What did you say it was? 70 what?
75.
God damn.
What's half of 75? Like 42?
32.
32.
32.
So Caitlin,
No, sorry, 37.
37.
37.
What is this?
I'll round it up to
It is
38.
pain.
So another ray.
Pain.
So you miss barely, but your leg gets almost severed. But thankfully enough, you're the undead. So you only get hit for 37 points of damage.
Ow.
It's safe to say that that spirit guardian is gone.
Vrauta would probably be the only one to understand what that was. If I'm going to be
What was?
perfectly honest. You can go ahead and roll Arcana.
Okay. If I may. Sorry, I was searching up. Where did we go? Oh.
It was Beholder Light.
Rolled 21.
Looking at this creature and seeing that this humanoid just burrows through Byros and Caitlin, you can tell that this is a spell that is similar to a spell that you know of called Heal, I believe, that gives the person that was casted upon it 75 points of health back. Whatever this thing is, it reverted that and is able to strike people with that amount of damage against them.
It's a spell.
Is a warped spell, is basically what you understand it as.
Like counter spell can be used against. Like it? Wait, can you counter spell?
Not in this circumstance, unfortunately.
So it just stills their life, pretty much.
Pretty much, yeah. And
Okay.
that is it for his turn, but on her turn, she does see the ice elemental, but she also sees two other potential targets. She wouldn't go against Vrauta at this current point in time, because it's not strategically sound. So she instead grabs out a blade and kills the little kitty. I'm kidding.
Little kitty is still on my head.
For now, they'll just be at the wall.
Yeah, it's just like I had to click on my token, so.
Let's see here. Who would she go for? And I'm using digital dice again. Yeah, that makes sense. She will go straight towards Caitlin.
Sorry, she enters the field, however, so she has to roll against my 18 or take, what was it, 20 damage?
Wisdom, right?
Yep.
Also, I couldn't find a frost elemental or an ice elemental.
That's weird.
So it's 15 plus another
I can-
5 if she's weak.
If you just find a level 3 elemental, you can just use any of those.
Well, I found like an air, water, fire, earth, so I'm just gonna use the air one. Is that okay?
That's fine.
And
Before
then-
she moves, you can go ahead and strike at her.
Well, I don't even know. Okay, so I'm just gonna paste what I found on here. Like, I just found it's the monster.
Plus ace to hit, so 1d20 plus 8 twice, because last turn when you summoned it, now when it's making an opportunity attack.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I roll what?
A D20
1d20 plus 8.
The creature also has multi-attack.
1d20 plus 8?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 3 times technically.
1d20 plus 8, right?
Correct.
Sorry, I just want to make sure I'm doing it right.
And again.
Oh, again?
Mm-hmm.
And copy that because you're gonna do it again.
I will.
The second one does hit, but just barely.
And then again.
And then again, as she begins to run away. The second one also does hit. So that would deal...
So the average is 14, unless you want to roll 2d8 plus 5.
Up to you.
Roll 2d8 plus 5?
Mm-hmm. Twice. So copy that one.
Okay. And 2d8 plus 5.
You rolled
I haven't
no.
rolled yet. I didn't click enter yet. It's wait, what do
Oh, sorry.
is it 2d8 plus 5?
Yes.
Okay, I was making sure I typed in the right numbers. That's all. And then one more time.
You got the average both times.
That was a waste of time. I'm sorry.
It's all good. You still hit for 28 points of damage, which is Caitlyn numbers. And who knows, you might need a new Caitlyn after this. As the enemy
Yeah, it's
charges
true.
towards her.
She's not the one who caught the full force of that blast.
That's true. You
But I
see that
guess
she
just hammer.
brings out what appears to be a feather from her side. Bringing it out, she just draw it and aim straight towards your side. That'd be her modifier.
And did you remember to take her roll for or take her 15?
Yes.
Okay. And if
12
she's weak
hits?
to radiant damage, she's not wearing her
It's
armor.
It's like I can't wear armor or something.
You can. You just take slightly.
Keep going with that sentence, please. Keep going.
Take 1d6 fire damage per turn.
It says
That's
it's
it.
not 1d6 fire damage. It red stuff.
We'll settle this later. Anyways, she is. So go ahead and roll another d6 Byroth for the radiant damage for her. And
It was 5 last time. Let's just use the old rolls.
okay, let's see. And the second one does hit. So she swings down one of her feathers straight towards you, and then the other. So that is 1d6 plus 7, and 1d6 plus 7. So 22 points of damage aimed straight at you. And then on her turn, she just covers herself with her cloak.
No, but first she hit me.
First she hit you. Oh, hellish rebuke,
Oh.
nice.
Oh boy, my poor defenseless character sheet.
Let's see, her
If
dex.
I wanted you to pass it.
Oh, it's its dex save, so she doesn't have proficiency in it.
Ignore the necrotic and the radiant.
Okay. So she failed. So before she
So
cloaks
takes
herself,
18 fire.
18 points of fire damage just circulate around her and embeds into her. While she isn't dead, she is now heavily breathing and cloaks herself around. Chrome.
I'm going to use Dimension Door to head over here and try and chase down that bird.
Alright, let's see here. Where would the bird be at this current point in time? Okay. Aiming straight for the bird, or at least attempting to figure out where they are, you do manage to connect to a place. Let's see here. Yeah, that would make sense. So you wind up roughly around this corridor section, where you see one individual man and a bird on their shoulder. The individual in question does seem to be a necrotic body that's been brought back to life. Roughly what it might be a hobgoblin, but it's not really anymore.
There's nothing really I can do. Yeah, there's nothing really I can do, so I'll just... Yeah, is the bird landed on his shoulder or anything?
It did.
This creature, so he's just gonna stay here. Because I can't multi-attack at the moment.
All right. Lady Versky.
I will move 15 feet here. What can I see down this corridor?
To the east, you do seem to find more of a maze in area. Not gonna lie, a lot of this place is maze-like. But you do see that at one point in time, it does end for one destination.
Alright. And my last movement, how about up north?
Up north appears to be a separate four-way intersection that leads to 4 different steps, or rather, what are they called again? Stairs. All adjacent to a statue of the lake. Each statue represents a staircase leading up. Except for the one in the middle, which just indicates a strange demon-like creature with club in right hand pointing to the north.
Okay. Then I will just pump 3 shots into that guy. That with the snail.
He's slowed.
1, 2, 3.
The last 2 hit.
And that shall be my turn.
He has -2 AC while slowed, by the way.
Yes, that's why the
Okay.
last one hit. Thanks to Rauta,
Okay.
I blame you.
So 2 of them.
Wahaha.
Speaking of Rauta, it is now your turn.
So it just
Okay.
took 49 damage and survived.
It's heavily breathing. Are you happy?
I mean, not if I have to take another eye thing.
Rauta.
If I did poison spray, would that affect my? That wouldn't affect my teammates, right?
You can angle it where it won't. You just need to make sure the elemental moves first.
It does say a creature.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, is it just one, or is it?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else. You're fine.
Okay, cool. This is a cantrip, so I want to do. That's like a. I'm always confused about those. Is that technically?
You can do a cantrip and a spell, but it has to be a bonus spell because a cantrip is an action, and you can cast unlimited cantrips.
Okay. So I wanted to do that, and I wanted to try to heal one of you guys that are looking low.
You can do one
Unfortunately-
or the other. You can't do both, I'm
Yeah.
afraid.
They're both actions.
Okay.
Healing word is a bonus action.
However, Rauta, because you got the Arcana check beforehand, if the man with the eyes was able to hurt Byroth with a warped spell of heal, you might be able to hurt him with the same type of spell.
Oh. Okay, we can throw this on him. Is that the guy that we're fighting right now, right?
It is the man with the eye beams. But your team is hurt, mainly Byroth and Caitlin, so it is up to you.
Decisions.
Well, because heal only works on one person, right? But did I have healing word? I thought I did. No. Oh, I do. Healing word. How's that work?
This is a bonus action. You can cast it, and basically you're talking to someone to give them a strength and vigor. So you give them
Still
1d4.
only affects. It still only affects one person, and you can juice it up, but it's never going to heal as much as heal.
Oh. Well, I'll go ahead and use that on... Wait, does that work? That works on Kaylin, right?
Healing word in this case would work on Caitlin. Just any other would not. Heal would probably hurt her. And other cleric-like spells. Healing word is something
Okay.
else, so healing word can help.
Okay, so I'll use healing word on Kaylin. I'll use my poison spray on that dude, and that's what I want to do. So
All right. I believe you automatically hit, and I just need to roll Constitution save. And if
Correct.
he has no
DC
modifier,
17.
I rolled an 8. So go
So
ahead and
not-
roll 1d12.
And I know this is. Sorry. No. We're 14th level. That's 3d12.
Is it? It is.
So 3d12?
Mm-hmm.
Also, if Caitlyn takes damage from heal and from necrotic heal, that's a pretty raw deal.
She mainly just takes damage because it was the force of the wave. And because this isn't actually meant to heal any living or undead, it's just mainly there to destroy the body.
True pervert. Alright.
That's what necrotic damage is. Anything else, Rauta? Your elemental does have its turn.
Yeah, my elemental's gonna go just do his little... What did I have to roll for him? Why didn't I freaking save that?
A d20 plus 8.
And this is just one time, right? Or yeah, one time for this roll.
Twice.
No, twice.
Twice? Okay, I'm gonna copy.
That's what
That's
we
what I
did.
was asking. Sorry.
It's fine.
Roll 1d8. No, 1d20 plus 8.
Yes.
Correct.
I tried to say it backwards. Sorry.
That does hit. Who are you attacking? The Eye Man
The-
or the Bird Woman?
Oh,
That also does hit.
the one that's closest to it. I don't think he could reach the other one.
You can also move it.
Easily it could reach either.
Oh, then the eye guy.
Okay. Luckily enough, you're within distance away that it wouldn't take an attack of opportunity. But go ahead and roll damage, which I believe was 1d12 plus
2d8
5.
plus- 2d8 plus 5.
Average 14. Yep. 2d8 plus 5.
Right, sorry. 2d8 plus 5. It's been a while since
And-
the elementals popped up again.
Rolling that twice, right?
Correct, because you hit twice.
$23 damage total.
Not bad. So as the elemental goes after your poison spray, Baroth, you see an elemental just wash straight around you. It almost skids as its icicle forms underneath its feet, causing it to slide straight towards him. It then hits him straight in the stomach. Rauta, you can choose to take this man out permanently or just knocked out.
What were we doing when we came in here? Were we...
You came in here to find the Black King and take their band, But you also know that these people are not the best.
These are the people that tried to kill the kid.
And we weren't planning on saving anybody. Like, we didn't discuss about that or anything.
No.
We didn't discuss on killing them or saving them. So, entirely up to you.
Okay. And then
It was heavily implied to us by other people in the world that these are not the greatest people. And, what we know is that
I don't know if you guys want to question anyone. There is that option.
Just saying, from world context, these are bad dudes. But yeah, there is that angle as well.
And in Dogma, do I feel like he's worth questioning?
You can roll insight, but as it currently stands, probably not.
I'm just gonna. I mean, they try to kill a kid. I will roll insight really quick. Just.
And when I say that, they also killed one of our party.
That's why I want to kill him, but I just want to roll insight first, just to make sure I don't feel like, because he had some weird shit.
You believe he is weird. You also believe that he doesn't really have any useful information from you. From the way he was moving and interacting with people, he's more of a fighter. If he did have information, he would not present it to you to begin with.
Okay. Just kill him.
So as the elemental strikes him in the gut, it turns it into what appears to be a shiv and strikes all the way through, causing him to go down.
Shoryuken!
Caitlin.
Bonus action, Hexblade's Curse.
I'm assuming on the woman?
One up right now.
Oh, my healing word worked on her, right?
One hit.
Okay.
Did you ever roll it?
Is she trying to healing word me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Still doesn't work.
Healing word would work on you.
Their word?
Yes.
So saith the DM!
So what do I roll for that?
But depending on what level, it's 1d4 per level, plus your, so plus 3 for you.
So 1d4 plus 3?
If you cast it level 1.
I think we said I could do it at 2, right? Or was that something else? No.
You can cast it at any level you please.
Well, then the highest level. What is it? Where's my spells? I'm sorry. I think I can.
Save some of your higher level stuff.
I am.
Because you only have one of it.
Oh, that's right. Okay. Oh, and poison, that didn't even count, and I already took that off. So yeah, I will cast it at a yeah, I have. Okay, then a 4th level spell.
Yeah, because we have bonus 4th level slots because of our time with the Jester.
Aiming straight for this woman, Caitlin, you strike at her and both attacks hit for 23 slashing and 20 slashing as well, with Radiant and Undead. You strike through and you feel that both initial massive shots were cut in half due to the strange cloak that's wrapped around her, but the rest of the damage still strikes through, causing a tear. Let's see, 20. Yeah, that'd be 20, and then no radiant damage wouldn't affect it, and 1 wouldn't affect it. So you deal 20 points of damage straight through the cloak, and then deal the rest as you pierce through. Anything else?
No.
All right, Bartholomew. Byron.
So, Crazy Eye Guy's dead. I'm gonna move my spiritual weapon. Can it make it the 20 feet? Yeah, I can. I mean, I don't suppose it's allowed to flank, but whatever. Never got here.
I'm trying to type up my thing still, and I'm sorry. If I'm casting it at my 4th level spell, what do I roll exactly?
4d4 plus 3.
44 plus 3.
Mm-hmm. Aiming straight for this woman, Byroth. You slash, and the slash deal... Oh wait, this is magical damage, technically.
Yes, force damage, I believe.
So 7 points of damage straight through.
And then I'm gonna try for a weapon attack because it's all juiced up from the statues. Okay, so that's without statue juice.
Okay.
But I get a bonus 1d6, you say?
Is it not in there already?
That is just my straight up regular attack with
then yes.
My javelin, not including the statue thing. So that's 1d6. Okay.
Okay.
And there, that's the 1d6 radiant. Is there any fire damage bonus? We got both of them?
I'm afraid not.
Okie doke.
Piercing straight through, you see that the piercing damage does get reduced, but the fire and radiant damage around it just seeps in. The cowl around her almost seems to be broken at this point, which means it will likely not work if someone attacks her again. But it did its job and kept her alive, if only barely, as you see a trickle of blood and then a pool just falling through the cowl. Anything else?
Nope, but my aura is still up for 10 turns.
Oh, I thought you failed your roll.
Oh no, I had to get above 10. I had advantage. I got 16 and 18.
It's
You
10
didn't
or
have to get
half
above
the
10, you had to
damage.
get whichever one's higher.
Oh, then
You
yeah,
have to pass a DC 35.
then no. Okay.
Okay,
I didn't
he's
know that was
dead,
wrong.
removing
That's
him.
interesting.
Remove. Okay, D20's... Roll 20's being a pain, so some of you might disappear. The woman uncloaks herself because that's no longer functioning. But does feel threatened now.
So hey, we're really just here for your boss's armband. If you could show us the way and run out the front door.
She points to the west and then casts darkness. Byroth and Caitlin, Relta, are you at all able to see through magical darkness?
Nay. I think tieflings, not through magical though.
Tiefling.
I thought I
Tieflings can't, only if they do it for their own one. And I think that's only
Yep.
one or two of the tiefling sub-races.
I think so.
What are you talking about?
If you do, blah. Let's keep it simple.
Caitlin, do you have Devil Sight by any chance?
have what?
Caitlin have Devil Sight because she'll be able to see through it.
Or what about her residual tremor sense?
Her eyes have been closed this entire fight.
I think you mentioned that before, but it was a different scene, but that's fine. Then Byroth, as she moves away from you, do you... Oh... That's an action, though.
Sorry. I know. I was just trying to look for it, and then I found it, and I was like, clicked on it as soon as I found it, just to be like, how does this work?
Okay.
Sorry.
It's all good. So, Caitlin, if you decide to, you can attack without a disadvantage, but Byroth, you can attack if you choose to, but with a disadvantage. Relta, you can attack, but with disadvantage as well.
If I'm... Oh, this wouldn't work then, would it? Because I can't... Does an action...
You require a specific feat called Warcaster in order to cast spells as a reaction.
Oh... Okay.
Or sorry, as an opportunity attack, not a reaction. Byroth will refrain because he literally just suggested that to Bode.
Okay. She pointed to where you pointed where the bird went, Caitlin, unfortunately, you missed. Relta, do you attack?
No.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. The important question, can that creature see in darkness?
You mean the person that casted darkness?
Yeah.
Yes, you assume.
No, I need to know for the roll.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And then bolt out of here. You assume. Real mechanical wise, she's like right by the door.
Yeah, but oh my god, did you guys get to see that guy with eyes? Oh my god, that. Oh, I feel dizzy.
Chrome. While everyone is technically out of combat, I'm still gonna keep it.
Does this creature look like it's going to make any hostile moves towards me?
It's just staring at you. Similarly enough, like a marionette doll would stare at someone. Blanked face with no emotion, but creepy.
I'm going to try and grab the bird.
Okay. Roll a grapple check. So athletics versus its athletics or acrobatics. Let's see. It is currently a bird, so I'll use bird stats.
I don't know why, but that sentence delights me. Okay, I'll use bird stats.
Aiming straight for the bird, you manage to grab them without an issue. Looking at it, you do see and can tell that it is a bird. It doesn't seem to have anything against you. It's just still bobbing its head, but after you grab it, manage to grab it at the very least, it does now stop dancing and look straight at you.
I'm not going to look at it, but I'm going to go back to the party while grabbing the bird, and if it starts chirping or anything, I'm going to put my hand over its mouth.
Okay.
Beak, I guess.
I'm just going to reveal the rest of the area so you don't get lost, because it's really not that difficult to get back. At this point, you're out of turn order. You managed to get back to the team without too much issue or struggle.
We had an introduction where everyone introduced what they could do, right? Pretty sure we did that.
Yes, depending on who shared things. Lady Versky shared a little. Same with Caitlin.
Did Ria share she was a druid, is the question.
I believe so.
We were talking about the trees, so I think it probably would come. We're talking about the dryad.
Yeah, every time I introduce myself, I tell everybody what I.
Okay, the Rialto and just. Can you speak with this bird? It's not normal. It wouldn't have survived that many hits.
Yep. Does the bird, I mean, is the bird even talking? What's...
It's just continuously staring at Chrome. Not doing anything.
Bird.
Not doing its little dance, just staring.
Bird. Bird. I know you can understand me, bird. You speak to this very nice horned lady, okay?
What would I roll for like?
You'd have to cast a spell, I believe. Speak to him.
Hold on. Let me roll that up. I'm still trying to fix all my spells.
Speak with animals is a first level spell.
Hold on, I'm doing it. Promise.
I know.
Yeah, it's right here. My computer's a little slow. Sorry. Or my
It's all
internet
good.
is,
Join
I
the
should
club.
say.
Just blame it on Roll20.
I'm honestly really glad it's been working as well as it has when I'm working. Okay, so here we go. So woo 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 woo, little birdie.
It looks.
What do you want to know from it, Chrome?
What is it?
Okay.
Go fuck yourself.
All right. Brata, as you ask what it is, the bird then turns towards you and then simply states, well, it's an owl, but oops. Elemental eats Chrome, and that's the end of that. Ow. The owl looks towards you and then simply states, huh? Oh. Oh, you can hear me this time. That's different. I mean, if you need to know, I'm a familiar.
Oh, whose familiar are you?
That one points towards the dead body.
Oh.
Contract's up now, though.
It's. What did it say? Sorry.
It said the contract's now up, though, as if it's no longer adhering to its words.
Okay. What are you gonna do now?
I don't know. This one seemed interesting.
Wait.
Looks back at Chrome.
So the dead body it pointed at was the one that got vaporized by the teammate, or
It was the
Or
one.
is
Is it
Okay.
giving you answers? Sorry.
It's fine. It cut out for me there. What did you say?
I
oh,
was
is
just...
that? Oh, sorry. Go.
Sorry. No, you go, sorry.
Okay. The familiar of the owl familiar is of the guy that got killed by his own teammate. So technically, we didn't even kill the master.
Yes.
But the question is Rialto translating it across to us?
Yeah, that's what Chrome was just about to ask, because he was just about to ask, is it responding to you?
Well, I did translate the first part to you about the body dying, and then I just heard this tidbit, and I'm going to translate it too. But yes.
Everything's been translated, okay.
Yeah, I was just about to be like, its owners died, and then we just figured out which owner died. And then I was going to say, so Dogma, you were saying that it said Chrome looked interesting?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I'll look to you and just be like, yeah, his owner's dead. It's a familiar, and he thinks you're kind of interesting.
Chrome will look down at the bird but refuse to make eye contact with it and just say, familiars don't make contracts like that. Or is that just what you want to call yourself?
It turns its head almost 90 degrees to the right, looking at you, and then goes, huh, I guess that's true. It's still talking in an animal language, so Ralta would have to interpret it for you. But then it states, guess that's true, but it really doesn't matter. Still use me for the same things a familiar does. Huh. It then sniffs the air. I was right about you. You do have death on you. About the same amount as that one. Looks towards Lady Versky now. But you seem more connected here.
Sorry, what did you say? Because half of it cut out.
Yeah, I was gonna say some of it cut out for me too, but whatever the first part was, that's the only part I missed. Everything else, I was just gonna, I was gonna say I relay it all to you, but
I heard it all. It's interested. It thinks
Question
Lady Guy
a
is-
dogma.
Hang on, let people know what it said first. It then said, huh, that's interesting. They still use me for the same things a familiar would, so that's fine. Huh, I was right about you. You do smell like death. Same as that one, looks towards Lady Versky. But you seem more connected to here. That was it.
As a little aside, I love the idea of us all knowing hand language, so that in moments like this, we can just like have the sign language interpreter. The bird is just like, ah, blah, blah, blah.
You have badges that you can telepathically talk with.
No, this
Rex,
would be a
did you wanna ask
specific
your question?
language. The language of owls, the big owls, technically.
Probably not then. If it's not an actual creature, then no.
No, it's not.
So, Chrome will then raise an eyebrow at the bird and just, in Infernal, say, is this more your language?
It nods and then goes, but while I'm in this form, I might as well talk the same way they do. It turned its head back to a normal position. But then it looks towards Rauta and then states, do you want me to change into something that's more suitable to everyone? Or do you want to play this game of telephone?
I'd rather you change into something more suitable.
It then looks towards the team. Like, it turned its head towards Chrome, and then Lady Versky, Byroth, Caitlin, you, all in one fell swoop and states, is that alright with everyone?
Chrome time during this entire mission kind of like chuckles, and then he just opens his palm up and the sort of like go ahead.
Before we let the, as I understand it, potentially demonic entity reform, do you mind, Realta is a big ass. Could you perhaps cast that big heal spell?
Yep. What do I have to roll for?
You don't. The big one is just straight 70.
Oh, cool.
Which brings me to 118. Thank you very much.
You're not dying. The bird then quickly, well, it doesn't quickly, it does a big show of it, but eventually does disappear. And then reappears into this thing. It resembles
Is it
that. What was that?
Is it a fiend, undead, or what?
It is a fiend.
Excellent.
Changing its form and visage,
Noses.
its skin seems to be almost worn and torn, as if in any second it would just be swept away by the wind. It carries what appears to be a large bushel of ingredients on its back and almost a farmer's outfit. This seems more appropriate as it begins to speak in common. You all seem more used to this language.
Barth immediately has more affinity for this guy, as he appears to be some sort of ancestor figure.
He then states, now, what do you want to know? I'm no longer tied to them, but you aren't really useful to me either.
Who are you? Which one of them are you?
Looks towards you and goes, oh, you're talking about them. I mean, if you must know, I I think they called me a lieutenant. Not really contract with them anymore, so I guess I don't have that title. But at one point in time, I was considered different. I think they called me the information broker in theirs because they couldn't get the correct one. To Chrome, that would actually make sense.
Yep.
But if you must know, I went by Bard. It then pulls out what appears to be a mask, which No, Halabu's and I think someone else. No, that was... No one here has
Cerberus?
seen. No one here has seen. Yes, it would be Cerberus. Looks like this. But I guess I don't need it anymore, as this creature just shatters it in its hands.
So, when you were serving these people, how did you, I don't know, feel morally about what they did? Ambivalent?
Entertained?
While he's saying that, Chrome will bend down, like, lean over and hold his hand out in a sort of shaking gesture. As like a greeting sort of thing. And just say, well, it's nice to know familiarity then.
If you want to shake my hand, that's all well and good, but you will be forming a contract with me. That's probably something you don't want to do.
Brown just goes, you're warning me about the contract. That's new. Usually your type would be more to trick us into that.
Yes, but often a trick can be told as the truth. And in this case, you might need a contract. So I might as well start off with the truth, and then see how far you yourself can go. If you go over to that statue room, the middle statue points to the direction of the leader, the boss, the head honcho. You can go directly to his room and avoid any unnecessary circumstances.
Can I insight check him?
Sure can. As you're doing so, he does state, I will warn you though, if people tend to go out on their own, they will probably get changed.
I want to do something before Caitlin carries on. When Caitlin starts wandering off, I will whistle so people's attention comes to me and shunt my head in Caitlin's direction as she walks off.
Probably not a great idea. I mean, you know, Shadowfell, very limited time frame. Are you still walking away from? Okay, that's.
They are barely visible in your current corridors, but they are visible. Chrome, from what you can tell, this individual, although fiend, is telling you the truth, or at least the best way you could interpret it. You can form a contract with it, and the directions of going towards the Black King are correct. However, Caitlin, what are you doing when you entered inside this room? As you entered inside, you saw a pool of red liquid entering and emptying into a basin. You do smell it, and it does have the smell of blood.
Do I like the smell of it?
It feels like a mixture of various wines to you. Red wine, red, white, all just mixed up together. In terms of in medical terms, it's a mixture of A positive, A negative, O positive, a mixture of bloods. To you would be the equivalent of wine.
Sangria.
Yeah. I don't know if you would like a mixture of the bloods.
She does not. What's going on in this room?
Entering inside this room, you see what appears to be two side pillars to a basin of water, but the water does seem strange and a lot clearer than it should be. To the right and left of you seem to be stone-like beds. The stone, while worn and torn, does seem to be marble, and stained on it slightly are marks of blood.
Does the blood drip to the ground?
It does not. It seems to be cleaned up each time, but after a while, if a surface is used for the exact same thing, it gets a stain.
You said this water is clearer than it
The
should.
water is clear. Like, clearer than it should be. But as you leave, you notice Rareski just staring at you. So you turn the other way. So yeah, let's get back to Chrome and the rest.
So before anyone makes a contract with this creature, I just want to say, if it's entertainment you are looking for, we are watched by the Jester. So,
Chrome will simply side-eye like Byroff and then get his attention back to Bard and just go, what would you like in return in the contract? If we're being honest with one another.
Honestly, I am bored. Oh, and the gesture has no abilities in the Shadowfell, I'm afraid. But that would be interesting in the material plane, but we're not there now, are we? If you can entertain me, I can enhance some of your gifts and abilities. I can also just be a familiar to you. That's what the other man wanted.
implication, my little friend, is that if you are watched by the Jester, we must be ourselves entertainment.
Chrome will hold his hand out again to Bard with a grin on his face and he's just go, would you like to see the end of a story arc this time? And his eyes flicker for a second as he does so.
Roll persuasion.
When we are.
With advantage, because Byros did make a good point. Maybe I should make the rolls more difficult. You pass, but it was a 25 to pass.
It's just barely.
That would be interesting. So what did it be? A familiar or an enhancement of abilities?
Is it just one or the other, or do I get to choose which one
No, you can
at
choose
times?
more than one. But that would require more of your, let's call it your spirit for now. If you choose familiar, it'll just be a simple familiar. You can see through my eyes, gain the information I gain, get the help feat, or if you want to increase your abilities, I can increase your main stat by 1, increase your speed by 10, and increase your AC by 1.
Let's go with increased abilities for this. Just considering what we're doing.
Consider it done. It shakes your hands and you feel a burning mark on your person. It kind of resembles what Rauta had to everyone else that's seen it before. It burns the mark into your skin and flesh, and then it quickly seeps into it as if it's absorbing it. You now have a +1 to your main stat, a +1 to your AC, and 10 feet of expanded movement. Now then, if you need to call me again, decide to give up more of yourself, shout out my name.
Is it saying this telepathically?
It is not.
Okay.
It's not your familiar. It's your overseer.
Chrome will simply stand back up and look over to the rest of the party. And looking thing down the hall. It didn't attack, but it did seem to stare at me.
Oh, those are sentries. He
Don't
then
know.
moves towards the ice elemental and pokes it. They won't do anything unless someone commands them to do something. Poke.
You said we could go right to the boss. But what else? Is there something that would help us defeat this Todd Von Zarevich imposter?
Rauta, what were you saying?
Oh, why is he poking my ice elemental? I said it in character though, but I was like, why are you poking my ice elemental?
He
Don't
just looks
worry.
towards you. Oh, I'm just bored. Poke, poke, poke. Then he states, well, if you want, I can give you directions to other locations. I don't know how useful it would be to you.
Our goal here is to collect the armband off of the one who is masquerading as the vampire lord of this castle.
I'm gonna message you something, a dogma, in Discord, but basically what I'm messaging you is him saying this in his mind to see if Bard can actually listen to his thoughts.
Okay.
Sort of thing.
Bard would then state, well, if you need to know a few things, you see those statues in the next room? The one at the bottom leads to let's call it a catacomb. There are a whole bunch of caskets there, but they're about the size of giants. So if you want to explore, fine by me. If you want to go to the one at the top right, it'll lead you to a research area. Sometimes the individual you know as the leader goes there, so he might not be in his throne room or his own personal room. So you never know.
Okay, then what?
Okay. You state that, Chrome. It turns toward you and then states, you believe in your mind. Well, that's all very good and all, but this is probably the only time we will speak this way. I'm not your familiar, at least not yet.
Why are there giant corpses in the catacomb?
You would have to ask the big boss, but they said something about transfusing bodies into these things.
Transfusing souls into corpses?
Something like that. That really wasn't what I needed to know. But according to some of them that were experimenting on the top left staircase, they wanted to use the bodies that they have at the bottom right staircase and infuse their abilities into already living, or at least at one point they were living, specimens. And they've succeeded with a few, but not everyone. So they're still trying. The one at the top right, however, does lead you to a more interesting site. They're dealing with more mechanical construct like a devices. Think of them as specialists that deal with magical devices. While I hear they're even making strange collars in there. Maybe some sort of fashion advice.
Okay. Chrome's just gonna start going straight forward.
Yeah, Baroth, if we're voting, wants to go towards the mechanical stuff, obviously.
No, the minute he starts saying collars, he's going for it. So
I'm on board.
There
is
are
Alright, alright, Bard, watch this. This is why the gods watch us.
alright, there are more hidden rooms in the area, so I did tell you.
Well, I mean, the more you point things out, the more interesting. In the meantime, watch for explosions.
As you begin to walk out, he does state that there's a room entering into a pool of blood, a room that's just a regular room at the top floor, and then a room that is a dining hall. But since you killed the main observers in this area, you can pretty much just go anywhere if you decide to.
At this point, how long have we been in the Shadowfell?
Roughly 2.5 hours. And by this time, the elemental does disappear.
Oh. You poked him and just poof.
Yeah.
Oh, why'd you have to go and do that?
So we've got
So
a
he
bit
just-
of time. Sorry, go.
Oh, I was just gonna say, so he just told us all the rooms that are here?
Yes. Chrome, after being told about the collar room, is heading in that direction.
Yeah, Baroth wants to go to the mechanical room as well. So. Unless anyone else has objections.
Ladiversky, are you going with them, or are you just wandering about?
Oh, she's still waiting for Caitlin to return up.
She... Oh yeah, you can't technically see her.
Just out of range. Just out of range, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd be like, oh, hey Caitlin, the team is moving on now, it's probably a bad idea to leave you alone. I mean, you're sitting cross-legged really weird. Is that the pentagram?
A less obvious way you could have said that is welcome back, Caitlin.
She's still casting that spell.
just out of curiosity, is Bard out or is he just inside of Chrome's hand at the moment?
The mark you can still feel on your hand, but Bard's still out. You didn't decide to contract with him in familiar form, so he's just walking about. So, you have a few options, but it looks like everyone wants to go to the mechanical room. As Ralta is currently exploring the area. So do you head out?
I'm gonna check
Alright.
on Caitlin.
Yeah, I was gonna take 10 seconds as well. What do you gotta say, Rialta?
What's she up to?
Listen, Caitlin, I know it's hard, you can't put on your armor right now, but actually I think you've been helping the party, and, you know, that's a step in the right direction. And maybe if you came with us right now and maybe told us what this spell was, maybe your armor would be okay, I don't know. You have to talk to the sword that Rialta's carrying, not Rialta herself, she has no control over it, it's a sword thing.
I like how Caitlin's typing just to flip Byroth off. I assume.
It continues to chant. Basically.
Basically, get counter spell ready.
Can I Arcana to see what this spell is?
Do you know the spell?
I don't know. Do I? Can I check?
I mean, are you able to cast said spell?
What's
If it's a warlock spell, then no.
It's not even a warlock spell. You still can't cast it.
Then you would have to roll Arcana.
That's what I just asked.
And I needed to clarify.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's just chanting to you.
We're thinking of going ahead before, we spend too long in this deathless hellscape.
Lady Varsky, you can tell that they're speaking to Caitlin at this point.
Okay.
Kate, would it mess up your ritual if I just grabbed you by the collar and kind of
well, you don't.
scooted you along? If she doesn't respond, I'm just going to do that.
Continues to chant.
So Barrett's just dragging Caitlin behind and walking in the direction of the room he wants to go to.
Yeah, it looks like.
Okay.
If you interrupt my spell,
Not trying to mess up your spell, but it's just I think it's safer if everyone's together.
You just see
Swing.
Bard move over to
Swing.
the statue corridor that
just waiting
leads to the
click the
mechanics
button,
room.
Byroth.
What was that?
I'm just waiting to click the button on Byroth.
Is it Bart or Bard, his name?
Bard.
Without looking down at it, when it walks past me, I am simply going to ask why it didn't alert them to my presence.
It smiles, you assume at you. You do see that its wrinkles on its face do go up underneath the mask. And then it states, like I said, I get bored.
She will let out a light chuckle at this, and a slight nod.
As it moves towards the corridor, it does state, this is the mechanical room that you seemed interested in. Is everyone ready to go, including the one that's chanting certain spells?
Can I have Caitlin up now, like she's cross-legged and I'm wearing Caitlin, like one of those, like if you see the heavy burden in Africa, they're carrying it on their head.
I mean, if Caitlin's not doing anything, technically you can.
So you just have a
Question is, if that would interrupt the spell, so would she let you?
It would not.
Ah, shame.
It doesn't let you do this. I like Byroth.
Also, Caitlin can just move. So I guess it would be a grapple check?
I mean, you could continue your chant and just like shake your head or something, and it'll be like, okay, let us continue kind of dragging your butt on the ground.
I guess Caitlin decides to not join the rest of the group.
Let me know when 10 minutes pass.
This entire conversation has been more than 10 minutes.
So my spell is complete.
Okay. Your spell's complete.
Yep.
Then we go to the mechanic room.
I mean, Chrome wouldn't have waited. Chrome would have started searching for the collars.
Man, that's going to be difficult once you see the mechanics room. I suppose you would go there first. I'm just going to put everyone else to the back. Wait, where'd Caitlin go?
How long total would we have been stood around talking?
15 minutes.
Damn.
You guys would probably have like 5 minutes before everyone else.
So not enough for a short rest.
No.
Damn.
Byroth, you're not there just yet.
Okay, sorry.
And
Yeah, I want to get as close as you'll let me.
right there. Right now, you're technically still arguing with Caitlin.
Okey-doke.
Still dragging your little butt behind.
So as Chrome and Lady Versky enter into this mechanicals room, you do see what appears to be 4 individuals. A strange dragonborn with... Their coloration just seems strange. They have red, like orange scales, but then their horns turn into a petulant blue. Beside him stands a humanoid woman, but at roughly 8 feet 6 inches. Below her stands a purple tiefling. While Standard does seem to have a royal robe around them. To the top stands what appears to be a very brightly white-haired individual, but their eyes seem to have a pitch red glow to them. Not like someone you know, but someone else right next to you. In this particular case, Bard.
Ooh, would I be able to recognize any of these people? They're completely new to me.
In this current circumstance, they are completely new to you. But from what you can tell, the individual to the far top appears to have Aasimar-like features and fiend-like features about them. And right in front of you stands roughly 7 heads of a dragon, but they all seem to be mechanically constructed.
The fight Byroth is...
So, Chrome will try to be looking in as like non-suspiciously as possible so that they don't get alerted to us, but if anyone's actively like, he'll be like whispering what he sees to them, sort of like in a preparation.
So you're whispering to Lady Versky, Bard Arenas, and you do see that they're talking with one another. I don't believe I asked this before. Any of you have the lip reading skill, so you just see them speak.
Well, it's good that I do, but I'm not peering around the corner if Chrome's the one peering.
I mean, you can be curious.
Is there anything you're doing?
What does this entire contraption like look like?
It looks like something.
There's a power source.
It looks like...
Sorry.
It's all attached to one individual large construction in the middle of the room. And it looks similar to things that Ramon could make. Probably not anymore since he doesn't have the resources, but it does look quite big.
Does that look to be like a main power source?
The only main power source you can probably determine is the giant reactor in the middle of it.
There are 2 raccoons at my window.
That's amazing.
Like glass or anything, or is it metal?
The top does appear to be glass, but it seems to be different than glass. Same construction, but not the same clear view. Around it does appear to be metal, and the dragon-like heads do appear to be tube but glass. At this point in time, since you were observing the area, the rest of the team does follow behind you as you give the quiet signal.
Does it look like there's been... Like, does it look like things are being pumped into the heads or taken out of the heads?
You can tell that
sort of thing.
You can tell this is early construction project. It's on its base skeleton form.
Does it look remarkably like the background? Is that a pretty fair representation?
Yes.
So the number of heads is accurate?
Mm-hmm. But it looks more thinner, less constructed. This is a new project that they're currently working on, which means they have time to do so.
So are we going to smash it? Or?
I'll turn back to the party and just say, but it also is concerning because if they're making the same colours I think they're making, then they've gotten hold of a more powerful technologies than I originally thought. Would also mean something else that I would have to talk to Ramon about.
Lady Versky.
Specifically for the...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was about to say we are specifically here for the Black King, so I think we should focus our efforts towards that first.
Lady Versky, you said you weren't peering at the people or the room?
Chrome was the one peering, but if he's turned back to talk, then I'll be the one peering.
You see that the white-haired individual is staring at your direction. Not saying anything, but it is signaling towards your direction. Do you have thieves' cant?
I do not.
Then the individual just looks like in a glower mood straight at you.
Does it look like they're trying to talk to me?
No, it actually looks like it's trying to speak with Chrome.
I will sort of tap my lips and shake my head, then tap Chrome and point at the one that's trying to talk.
I will look over towards it.
It does the same mannerisms. Do you have thieves' cant?
No!
Then it looks extremely upset after it noticed that you saw it signaling marks, and then ultimately did not respond. It then states towards his companions, "We have some unauthorized visitors here. Sir, ma'am, should we take care of them?" The Dragonborn then looks towards your group as he does point you out. Might be... No, I highly doubt it. Alright, if you're there, come on out. There's no real point in hiding. It's not like you can in this room.
They've only noticed me and Lady Versky, right?
But wouldn't that just mean we should stay in the doorway and not go into the room?
Chrome will put his hand out to everyone else to stop and then walk inside the room.
Alright, as you walk inside the room, the Dragonborn does move forward and does state, "How many of them are there?" There are roughly 3 currently visible, but there are roughly 4 other individuals. No, 5. Pardon me, I must consider familiars as individual beings themselves. It's alright, you were only born about 3 days ago. You're still not quite used to your sights. Now then, can I help you with something? And do you mind Do you mind stepping closer? I'd rather not be shouting in a conversation.
Chrome will start walking closer. He'll be making sure not to touch as much as possible.
he does observe you doing so, and he does state, you don't have to be face to face, just 15, 20 feet is fine, so long as you're not on the opposite direction of the room. Since you're the only one that stood up, I'm assuming you're the leader of this merry band.
I'm trusting you on this. Okay, are you expecting backup? Because Barath is feeling antsy being so far away from the front line, but also you told us to stay back. Okay, they know we're there. I'm not gonna stay more than 30 feet away from the action.
Z, if you're speaking, I can't hear you.
No, I'm
Okay.
checking over things, sorry. Chrome will simply... I don't know how to phrase this.
Doot, doot, doot.
You just state doot doot doot.
I take it would be a fair guess to... fuck, I don't know how to phrase it. He's basically trying to ask them, I take it it'd be a fair guess to believe that you guys are associated with the Black King, sort of thing.
It's a fair assumption, I'm sure. Is there any reason why you're here is what I'm mainly concerned about.
Could you help tell them the truth?
Negotiations. We're just here to negotiate, but...
Out of character, we want the armband.
That's why he's saying negotiations. Just simply this particular room caught our interest.
He looks towards the white-haired individual and then states, how would they know of this? One of their band does seem to be in possession of the former bard individual, but he does seem to be severed from the main group now. That would make sense. That would likely mean how you know of this room, but not really why you're here. You did say that this room caught your interest, but why?
Heard there was some little toys here. Wanted to see what kind of things you were up to. It's like our interests were well placed. This does seem like a miraculous sort of construction.
Well, we're done with our main project, so we still have time for the pet projects we often carry. The woman then looks towards the Dragonborn and then states, that's enough, Architect. Do you really think they're actually here for your blabbering? No, but I'd like to see what they come up with, you know? I suppose that's fair enough. Come now, Dagger, there's no need to be rude. You already know why I'm here. The only reason why I came here is to see if they've shipped already. Yes, they've already done so. At this point, you can feel that their conversation is now ignoring your presence. They still know you're here, but they seem kind of uninterested. The shipment has already progressed to the next step, so that's fine. They should have the equipment they require. But that being said, we only had so many. Just enough for the Red King's numbers.
You said that the creature looked to be celestial / fiendish, right?
Yes.
And just in celestial say, understand this, or do I need to keep talking common?
He does say it in common. Why are you speaking Celestial tongue? If you could communicate with me, why did you not answer before?
You were talking something or communicating something I couldn't understand.
I was checking if you were one of us based off of your current view, but it was clear to me you were not.
A Dogma question.
Yes.
When they were talking, did you say they now had an amount or something to beat the Red King's numbers or something?
You can roll insight, but I can just give it to you if you want.
Because I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you said something about the Red King's numbers.
Yes. No, Lady Versky would be smart. By that, you can interpret the amount of gems that the Red King provided to them. And with your roll, you can tell that specifically. It isn't to like defeat or beat the Red King. It's how many gems they have provided.
Okay. So it's not a territory war.
No. So, based off of that, you do know that the Red King gave... It's a slow progress, but has given them gems beforehand. Roughly 100 gems, so they have provided the next step 100 collars.
$100 to the Red King.
To the next project, the next step. They are...
okay. Like so Red King's bottom of the chain collecting the diamonds. They're the processing stage.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a stage above them. Okay.
Which might be yellow. More or less. Give or take.
Okay.
We're just waiting on any more that he can provide. Yes, I do hear that he is currently trying to protect all the creatures in the world, as he is tend to do. But that conversation aside, the Aasimar creature-like thing then looks towards Chrome. But you're clearly not one of us. You did not spawn the way we did.
Is he responding in Celestial or just in Common?
Common now. He has no reason to respond to you in Celestial.
He did hear me in Celestial.
He did. He stated, why are you speaking in Celestial now? And if you could, why didn't you respond beforehand? And then you stated, I didn't know what you were saying. And then he said, it doesn't matter now. It's clear to me that you're not one of us. You didn't spawn the same way we did. After that, the Dragonborn does finish his conversation with the woman, and then goes back. Right then, you were saying, if you must know, I am known as the Architect. This one here is known as Dagger. They show up to mass, but it really doesn't matter. They're just showing you and then putting them away.
Wait, did he say that they said that they were Dagger?
This one over here.
Okay. It's not for Chrome or anything, it's just... I realised.
Okay.
Fucking goddammit.
But the Dragonborn then states, why are you here, and why do you resemble the cryogenic specimens?
Cryogenic specimens?
He then points towards the boy. Like this one, but you seem to be... Ah, I see. You've been changed by something. This wasn't birthed or manipulated into you, I assume. I'm assuming someone didn't create you out of an Aasimar and a Tiefling.
drops his head and he's just like, "You must be confused. I'm simply human."
That's a darn shame. If you were actually something like him, points towards the boy again, but from nature, that would give credence to something else I was still working on. But that's neither here nor there now. But I ask again, why are you here? Is there something I can help you with? Some tool you needed to save the world? Deal with the big bads out there? Dagger then looks towards him. Come now, there's no reason to speak little of them. I'm sure they have their reasons here. And why are you defending them now?
The
That's the
armband.
Dragonborn.
Yep.
And then Dagger simply states, They, seem amusing now. I take it your man, looks towards the tiefling, has provided you with the information you sought out? You could say that.
Chrome will ask about the armband out of like curiosities, but he won't say Black King's armbands, just the armbands.
Ah, yes, those things. If you're after those things, I'm sure one of the kings can provide you with them, so long as you provide them with something of immense power in equal amount. But they were designs of ours. We formed them, contracted them, and placed them upon one another. Each one will correlate with the next king. If you provide all of them and group them all together, it will provide you a location to the elusive man. It's the only way to actually spot the man. But if you're looking for the band, then you've entered the wrong room.
What about the collars?
The colors have already been shipped. As soon as we get more stones, we'll create more.
Dogma, did he say the bands have powers? Or only when they're put together?
When they're put together, they can locate the current location of the elusive man. Separately, they can locate the next adjacent king. For red it'd be black, for black it'd be yellow.
Okay.
I do want to ask specifically, are these collars, well, just a hunch here, but are they the same ones that the Drows possess?
They've been modified and increased in power, but yes, essentially.
Knowledge leaked to you, then?
I wouldn't say leaked. We used them as a testing site with prototypes. They took to the information quite well. They used it on their slaves to make sure that they work. They do.
You created them.
Yes.
Interesting.
But since we no longer needed
Interesting
their
indeed.
beta type ones, we moved on. But they still had the knowledge, so if the tool continues to work, why get rid of it?
Do you say about what he would want with me? Sorry.
He's asking what you want with him.
No, I mean with the whole look-alike sort of situation.
Oh, he just wanted to know
Kid.
if you were similar to the kid biologically, but you already said no. Then he said it's a pity. It would have proven credence to certain information he has, but that no longer matters since you are not.
So you created the collars and gave them to the Drows. That would explain that situation and why they felt so powerful about that certain thing. Yes, pieces are starting to fall a bit into place, but to the end of that sort of situation. Although I do want to ask about what his situation is. An Asmar's fiend creation.
Ah, yes, the ASMR Tiefling combo. Well, if you'd like, I can take you there. Dagger then states, are you sure about that? It's quite fine. Even if she could defeat my bodyguard, she would still have to deal with the rest. Do you want me to come along? No, I think it's unwise to bring 2 lieutenants with you. Tell you what, go meet up with the rest of the lieutenants. I'm sure they're waiting for the king to make an appearance at the banquet hall. Just keep this hush-hush between us. How about that? What exactly are you planning? Not really planning anything. Just want to see what they would do. Just don't kill the one I like. We'll see. If you do, I'll kill you. We'll see. As the woman and tiefling head out.
As she says, don't kill the one I like, just for the pure ego. Versky will do a pretend blow kiss towards her.
Ignores you, but the tiefling winks. And as she passes by a certain someone, Rauta, you see this woman wink at you for some reason.
Yeah.
The tiefling scowls, though.
So I just want to make sure I'm understanding everything correctly. So they gave out these collars to control slaves?
They gave out collars to control slaves, but the main reason why they did that was to test the prototypes.
And that's controlled by something in this room?
No. Those collars are controlled by something in the Underdark. The new collars, you don't know what controls them. I think I said what twice. What or who controls those?
Oh, okay. Alright. And then one of them winked at me. Which one winked at me?
The woman that just left. A long-haired humanoid woman. She does look human. To her side, a blue tiefling. She winked at you and laughed, and the blue tiefling just scowled after she winked.
Belta just cross her arms and look suspiciously at them.
That's fair. The Dragonborn then states, now then, do you want to learn what I had hoped you were?
Goes over towards him and follows him, but when he does, he mutters under his breath, it's rude to try and reveal other secrets, you know.
To be fair, it's not really anyone else's secrets. And I was the one that was able to bring him back. Although to a limited extent. After all, their true creator died some time ago. Oops. Do you all follow him or do you branch out? Okay, since everyone regrouped together, I'm going to assume you all follow.
What?
And I'll
So
take you to the
curious about
chrysalis
those
room.
collars.
As you enter into the main hallway you were at before, you enter into a different chamber. Before you stands a metal door, and he simply opens it with a strange key code. It was 1783. To anyone with a past perception of 15.
And 73.
And what was that for?
The door to this room. It's basically a padlock number. The Dragonborn does enter inside with his lieutenant. There appear to be 3 individuals currently at attendant. The one in the middle does seem to have a clipboard, and she then states, sorry, I didn't expect you here. It's quite alright. I am showing people around. Are the test subjects ready? Yes, everything seems to be in order. Currently, they are just being kept in stasis. Very well, then. I'd like you all to see the chrysalis room. As you look around, you do see that there is a vast majority of individuals in here. There seem to be all in tanks, all surrounded by water and liquid, but none of them are moving, none of them are glowing. In one row, you do see what appear to be more demonic creatures, and he does state, unfortunately, not everyone was well balanced. Some gained morphine-like structures, and others gained more celestial-like creature traits. The ones at the far south are the far better example of the things that we are looking at the moment. The ones basically to my right are the not so perfected forms. Looks like the person that created them was cut short from their work. But this is the chrysalis room, and there is much more than just what you see as he looks up in the sky.
Out of curiosity, do I recognize any of the completed ones? Any of their, looks? Or any of the people, sort of thing?
Some of the individuals do seem to strike a resemblance to people you might have met, people you might have seen on the streets when you were performing, looking around. And then you see some people that look specifically like politicians, a bread merchant, a traveling merchant, people that could get into places high and low that would basically be seamless. There are a few people, actually, to you that do seem familiar, but they are not on this floor. As he looked up, you looked up in turn, and you do see row after row going up.
So there's someone I specifically familiar here, or?
Specifically to you, there is one person that you can currently see on the second row, not visible. You can see, well, the person, the individual that led you through all of this, that first started this situation. If you know what I mean.
Is it his old leader?
It is.
Oh shit, okay. Chrome is oh fuck, I don't know how to phrase this. When he sees that, variety of emotions going across his face. The first is confusion, the second is pure heartbreak, and the last one he's on is pure anger. And he's just glaring daggers.
Seems you might have seen someone you've met before. We did have to incorporate some of the spirits we found in this little area, and when we do, their bodies often reshape into that spirit's original form. I take it you've seen someone you've met before. There's a reason why this room is called the Chrysalis Room. Simply put, these bodies here were once formed from a being known as Mother, an ancient Fey entity that seemed to me like creating an army for some specific purpose, but was cut short. Finding her research again, we decided to develop it and see if we can create our own. While we got to a certain point, we still needed souls. So the Black King decided to enter into the Shadowfell to acquire them in the more easy way. After all, people would start to see people dying out of nowhere in mass. Wouldn't you agree?
See, as Chrome would have heard any of it, he's like hyper focused now on that specific tank, and like it's not heavy breathing yet, but it looks like he's struggling to breathe.
He does turn his back towards you and looks at the area that you're looking at. Not quite sure which one of them it is, but if you must know, they do have their old memories, their old emotions, their old ties, which is why the colors are needed, to make sure that they listen. But I'll tell you what. He then turns around and then looks towards his bodyguard and the other individual here that's not in a tank. You four, but not looking at the other two guards. This conversation is classified L2R59. You then see all four of their eyes glaze over into a more pearly white glance. And then he looks towards you, turns back around. It seems we have a certain predicament that you find yourself in. And personally, I'd rather not have my research being destroyed. So I'll tell you what. I will allow you to choose 2 individuals in this lab. Other than myself and this one. He then points towards the boy. I've grown fond of him. Do what you need to do inside this castle. I assume you're here to get the band since you spoke about it. And in return, you do not damage my products.
Can you make more of her if I take her?
No, her individual soul is trapped within that body. In layman's terms, she has been reborn into a new body, but a greater one, a stronger one with more adapt abilities. She is still the same person, but she has grown far stronger.
Lady Versky is going to skip forward, point between the architect and the other one to the woman with the clipboard and go, is she also on the table then? Sort of clapping her hands together.
She is, but she has already been conditioned. If you want to deal with that, you may. But it's far easier to mold one that hasn't already been trained.
We simply take them out of their cage as Chrome starts like levitating up towards where the old leader was.
So I take it that's a yes towards everyone.
Regardless.
I suppose. I mean, we're kind of opposing the elusive man specifically because he wants to raise Mother's armies again, but we can always come back to it.
The main reason
Yeah,
I
like
joined. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we still have our telepathic communication stuff, right?
You, Byroth, and Caitlin do.
So I talk to Baroth and Kaylin then and say, we're definitely gonna come back to this, right?
Yeah, we'll put the pin in this one.
Okay.
Come back to it.
Okay, so for now we'll agree to this stuff. Yeah.
Alright, he does state, it's just a simple matter of when you decide to come back. But once you deal with the Black King, we can discuss terms after.
Chrome will go over and try and get her out.
You do see that the Dragonborn, well, Lady Versky, you're too busy. Chrome, ugh, you're too busy. Versky, you can see that he does bring out what appears to be a control and pushes in buttons. You can see there's a number up top of the tube that Chrome is at and puts in those correlating numbers. And then the tube opens.
Versky's going to look to the architect. Do you have anything that isn't a person in here?
As in not a humanoid spirit.
Yes. A creature of the wild.
We were testing some spirit combinations. I suppose the one you might be interested in is the one to the far south. Second individual to the farthest right. And the fourth individual to the farthest right. Surprisingly enough, though, the one in the middle seems to be a broken one. I wouldn't suggest getting her, but the two to her right and left do seem to be from different products. The one to the right is a spirit of I suppose you know of the Fae. And the one
I know similar creatures.
And the one to her left is a creature of celestial descent, but a unicorn.
And what of this one that you warned me of?
She doesn't seem to be appropriately bred. She was one that was created before my time, and it was one that we found. But since she wasn't able to possess, or at least her body didn't manifest any celestial gifts, much like the white hair or golden eyes and such like that, we believe she is a broken byproduct.
There's nothing larger than people size.
We
No
are
beasts.
testing those out in a different room. But if you acquire those, I'm afraid you'd be spotted too quickly.
That's of no concern to me.
It is to me. If you were spotted too quickly and were found out, I would have to awaken all of these and prove my allegiance and kill you swiftly.
Indulge me with looking at them, won't you?
I can't come with you, but he then gives you the directions of the location. You can go there if you choose to.
She will look up at Chrome and go, if you'll excuse me, and sort of dash off in that direction.
Okay. As Chrome is currently has someone in their hands, and Lady Versky and probably a few others go to the direction of the Beast Room. Who knows what happens next time as we end the session for today.